All is right with the world. It is a beautiful day here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The cars were going the correct direction around the oval. There were 33 Indy cars going around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway oval. It was a pretty much completely clean day today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we're going to talk about it all right now. So, rather than go through the entire 33 car field, I'm going to show the top 8 times today because really it's hard to get a gauge today. This was truly a test day. While I kind of consider it the first day of Indianapolis 500 practice, I don't think a lot of other people do, particularly the teams. So they were working through checklists. There were a lot of different aerodynamic pieces that the teams can use versus last year, particularly on the other side. You'll hear some details about that from drivers like Simon Pagenaud later in this video. But let's take a look at the top drivers today. Josef Newgarden on top at 227.6 miles an hour. You'll hear from him in just a bit, and we did actually award him a prize for being first on the charts. You'll see that in just a second. Connor Daly, and I have to apologize to you and perhaps Connor for not giving him the recognition for the second speed at 227.4 because I walked right past him and didn't even ask for an interview. I waved at him, didn't ask for an interview. Scott Dixon in third, picking up really pretty much where he left off last year as one of the quick drivers at 226.7. Kyle Kirkwood coming off of that fabulous Long Beach Grand Prix at 226.7 as well. Takuma Sato, hey, there's an early dark horse for the Indianapolis 500 at 226. Stefan Wilson, you'll also hear from later at 225.9. And Colton Herta in 7th at 225.934. And I'll talk about the bottom of the time charts here in a bit because bump day will be a thing. The Andersons continue to confirm the Able Motorsports entry. The Ables continue to not. So we're just going to wait on that. But let's talk to the fastest driver today, Josef Newgarden, and present him a fantastic award. Okay, Josef Newgarden, to present the award for fastest in practice, fastest in testing, and it's worn off. Oh, fantastic! That's exactly. You're the best, Josef. You're 227 miles an hour, first day of testing. How you feel about this fantastic award?
Did this say testing?
It did at one point. It appears to have worn off.
This is a horrendous trophy, I'll be honest. I could have said it was a beautiful trophy. It's not. This is a very bad trophy. I appreciate that. You know, you deserve a bad trophy on a practice day when you win. It's technically a participation medal is what this is. And, no, it felt good. You know, it was a good day. Shell car was, like, solid. We got a trophy. You know, I think that's good momentum going into the month of May.
So, actually a serious question. You guys have always been so fast at Texas, but for whatever reason that speed hasn't translated here. It seems like right now it's translating to Indianapolis. What changed?
Well, we've been chipping away at this. You know, this is not something that was overnight. Certainly not just coming into this season. You know, I feel like the last 2 years, you know, clearly we've been off the pace in qualifying. You know, qualifying is the most glaring, and people have seen that. You know, if you've been here 2021, 2022, you know, we just weren't where we wanted to be pace-wise, and even 2020 to some respect. So we've been chipping away trying to figure out, you know, why is that not translating at Indianapolis specifically. This place is very different than Texas. It really is, you know, and details matter a lot more here. And, you know, if you concentrate on the wrong details at times, you can be, you know, off the pace. And I feel like, you know, we've poured our hearts and souls into the last 2 off seasons trying to make the cars better and faster, and I think we've been getting there. Last year was a huge step that we didn't really showcase fully, but we made a big step, and we knew we needed to make another step this year, and I think we're seeing signs of progress. There's no doubt. But having said all that, today was today. It's very difficult to assess what's going to happen this year off of just today. You know, month of May is still to come. We got many days to go through. Qualifying is going to be, you know, the real telltale.
We presented you with a crappy trophy today, but there is a big trophy at the end of this, and it's the one that's kind of missing from your IndyCar mantle. You've achieved pretty much everything else to achieve in this sport. How important is it to you, Josef Newgarden, to win the Indianapolis 500?
It's important. I mean, there's no doubt. You know, I would love to win this race. I've always wanted to win it. You know, my desire for it has not changed. But I can only do so much, and I know that. I'm going to be happy at the end of the day if I knew that I put my best effort into things that I could control, and I gave it, you know, I gave it my best. You know, because there's been tremendous drivers around here that have never won it, and you know, the racing gods, the circumstances just didn't favor them, and that's racing. You know, unfortunately, I hate that part of racing, but it's the way it works. So I guess I say all that because, you know, the desire is still there. I hope it works out. You know, it'd be a great year to do it with the shell car, but we've just got to wait and see.
Fastest in testing today. Show us the trophy one more time. There you go. Josef Newgarden, big winner today in testing. We love Josef Newgarden on this channel. We appreciate him and Penske PR for allowing us to do that today. That was a lot of fun, don't you think? And I think we'll find other ways throughout the next 40 days to integrate that trophy into our content. Let me know down in the comments what you think a good award would be to award throughout the month. But this day was split into three separate sessions. The beginning of the day was one session for the veterans of the Indianapolis 500. The second session was for refreshers for drivers who have not raced in over a year. And what's odd is that drivers like Tony Kanaan and Marco Andretti were on that list, who raced in the Indianapolis 500 last year, as well as Stefan Wilson. But every driver passed. And then the second full session of the day saw all 33 cars take to the track, and they ran. I got some interviews after the first session of the day, which was topped by defending champion Marcus Ericsson. Well, fast in the morning session, picking up where you left off here in May of last year. Can we believe the board? Are you as quick as you look?
It's always, you know, testing is testing, but what is good is when you roll out and, you know, you just put some laps up and they are fast. You know, that's a good sign. So, you know, the speed charts are always, you know, a bit tricky, but I prefer to be on top of them than in the bottom. Let's put it that way.
So I always love asking about the cars. Is this the 500 winner from last year, or was that retired?
No, it is. It's actually last year after the race, or all last year, we used the same chassis, and again this year it's the same chassis that I've used all year. So it's a car I take very good care of, and I'm very careful with.
No kidding. Good Lord, that's actually amazing, because so many teams retire them like the minute they win, or they keep an Indy 500 car on the shelf. You guys don't do that?
No, I have my one car that I use all the time for all the races. So it's yeah, I need to, like I said, I need to take good care of it.
It's looking at the board, Andretti Technologies affiliated cars pretty much all near the top. How is it feeling for Kyle Kirkwood? Is it you know, is the board lying, or is the board telling the truth?
I think it's telling the truth at the moment. You know, last year, if you look at last year where Ganassi was really good, they were always like in the top 10. And I think for all of us that ran, which are the two Shank cars and Colton, I think Devlin got a few laps in there. They were all pretty high up in the time chart. So it's inspiring to see that. It's confidence inspiring. Hopefully we can continue like that. But here, this track, it's really important to roll off like that, because I remember last year we rolled off and we're like, we're 2 miles per hour down compared to our teammate. How are we going to get this time back? And we never did. So it is important how you roll off here. It is a long month, but knowing that we have good cars right away is important.
And the final interview segment of today's video is talking to the Dreyer and Reinbold duo. Now, it was fun because, at least in one case, I was there when the official announcement was made of the program, but Stefan Wilson and Ryan Hunter-Reay are an interesting duo, and I think we should really be paying attention to them. They've got some speed this year. All right, Stefan Wilson, we have a unique perspective, a unique, I guess, relationship, because I was there at the beginning of this partnership with Cusick Motorsports, Dreyer and Reinbold, and now it seems like we blinked and it's here. 6th place on the charts today. How you feeling?
Yeah, really positive start to the whole event. You know, to finish the day, we ended up doing 140 laps today, so pretty beat right now. But you know, to sort of have a flawless day, and hats off to John Reinbold and the whole crew, because to prepare 2 cars, they've not turned a lap since May last year, and to show up, have no problems, no faults, no issues. That's a huge achievement for the whole crew, and just really proud to be their driver. And you know, just you know, really today we had a pretty simple checklist coming in, and we got through that pretty quick. You know, there was no dramas, there was no major issues with the car, with the handling, and that always is encouraging, and that just allowed us to move on and advance, the steps that we wanted to try and the changes we wanted to try. So, put us in a really good window to really get stuck in some traffic, and at the end of the day, felt really comfortable running in traffic. So, yeah, great start to the month. I can't thank all the partners that made it all possible. Carekeepers, Sierra Pacific coming back for the third year, and of course Don Cusick, who's not here today. He couldn't make it, but excited to have him with us come May.
140 laps today. Now, I don't want to touch on that because, as far as I know, have you ever actually done a test day in an Indy car before?
I have not, no. Other than that month of May running, So when I ran the Baltimore GP in 2013, I was supposed to test the afternoon at the spring training at that point at Barber, and there was a gearbox issue, so I did 3 laps. And then I didn't get to run an IndyCar again until Baltimore GP, the first practice. So, that's kind of how it has been with my career. But this was a real luxury, and I wanted to make the most of it. The guys and the rest of the team were like, "Okay, you want to hop out and take a break?" And I'm like, "No, you're not getting me out of this seat," So it was awesome. I had to be, they had to drag me out of the car at the end of the day. I didn't want to get out, So. Just really pleased to get that amount of laps in already, and we're not even to May yet. So that just gives you a good foundation to build upon as we get into the month.
Ryan Hunter-Reay, welcome back. You told me last year in the pits when you were working for Hunkos, you were not going to come back if you didn't have a car that could win this race. You've signed with Dreyer and Reinbold Racing. Looked like some good speed today. How did it feel for the 2014 winner?
Yeah, for a first day, it was excellent. I mean, when you consider the conditions today, super tricky. Anybody you talk to would say it was pretty sketchy at times. Just super unpredictable, right? You'd have a big moments in turn 3, next 3 laps would be fine. Turn 4 was kind of a moving target. So, it was a tough day conditions-wise, but the team did excellent. Everything that we wanted to check off the box today, we did. We took our time doing it. Car fit was great. I didn't have to adjust anything inside the cockpit. So on that side of it, really good. I mean, we wanted to check some things that we had questions on, big ticket items. We go back to the garage. It took a little bit of time to come back out, but I was really happy with overall how it went. We didn't get the big toe lap, but as to pace and strength, I think we're right there.
You haven't been in a Chevrolet in a long time. How did it feel to come back to a Chevy power plant after being with Honda for so long?
It felt great to come back and work with Chevy again. I have a lot of friends on that program. My engineer that I'd worked with for 12 years at Andretti Autosports leading up the Ilmore side, So, it's great to be back with them. Won the championship, like you said. And since then, I've been doing a lot in sports cars with them, Cadillac and things like that. So just got a great relationship with everybody at GM and really relishing the opportunity to partner with them again at IMS.
And partnering again with Stefan Wilson, what's that like? I know Steph was mentioning you guys are really similar in build, and I'm sure that helps with setups. You guys are probably pretty similar.
Yeah, it does. And, with weight distribution, the whole thing, Steph and I have the advantage also of being teammates in the past. So I know him really, really well, obviously, good friends. And, it's a good fit. And to be honest with you, I'm really enjoying the small team atmosphere. It's something I haven't experienced in a very, very long time. And there's a lot of familiar faces there, though. There's a lot of guys that I've worked with at Andretti, at Ganassi, and they really don't want the grind of the whole IndyCar schedule, right? So they come and they work at Dreyer and Reinbold, and it's a really family. It has the family atmosphere, and they're all very serious about winning this race. So I'm pretty psyched.
So some closing thoughts on today. First of all, weather affected this a little bit. There was some rain about midday. It wasn't too bad. Wind, as you might be able to tell from my shirt, was a big factor. A big headwind going down the main straightaway, tailwind going down the back straightaway. And it led to some interesting moments out there. Actually, not as much chaos as we saw last year. The only bit of contact was Callum Ilott coming out of the pits and actually collecting Rinus VeeKay, putting VeeKay into the wall. I'm sure Callum was not too happy, or VeeKay for that matter, not too happy about that. The no-toe speeds were actually topped today by Devlin DeFrancesco. Second was Josef Newgarden, and I think Josef Newgarden is probably I would say, an early pick for favorite. And it's weird because, like I asked him in the interview, like, he has struggled to win this race, and yet he looks pretty strong, at least on day one of testing for the 2023 Indianapolis 500. At the back of the grid, let's say the last row shootout, if it were to happen, we would have Devlin DeFrancesco, Catherine Legg, Benjamin Peterson, and Callum Ilott. Now, Callum Ilott had a very difficult day today. Did not complete many laps. In fact, he completed, I believe, around 10 laps. Yes, 10 laps according to this. Fastest speed of 212 miles an hour, and he actually told Ryan Marine of IndyCar Radio that his car wouldn't even drive straight. It's a brand new car from Dallara, so that is certainly a problem for the Juncos Hollinger racing team, which perhaps is reeling from that incident in Long Beach where Callum was sent out of the pits ahead of Augustine Canapino, and that caused all sorts of drama on the internet. The series itself had to respond to that bad situation where Callum Ilott actually got death threats, and it seems to be going from bad to worse. Again, he told IndyCar Radio, Augustine's on his own program. He doesn't need my help. That was a direct quote told to me by Ryan Marine, who interviewed Callum earlier today. So there could be some beef in the Juncos Hollinger pit. In fact, I think there is beef, and we'll have to see how that develops throughout the month. We're still waiting on the 34th car. Like I said, RC Anderson pretty much confirmed for Able Motorsports with Chevy power, but they have not made an appearance and will not make an appearance today, tomorrow, or the backup day if it does rain tomorrow and they decide to actually do it Saturday. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love being here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we'll see you in the next video.